Hello, 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 chat. How are we doing today? I hope we're all doing good. Um, just a few things before we kick off the stream. I will state this: if I don't seem like I'm into this, I just seem to be drained. Let's just say I was tempted not to stream today, but I figured I've pushed this game off a little bit longer than I should. So I am going to do this, but keep in mind, I should be streaming every Wednesday, but no guarantees that we have a every Wednesday stream, because let's just say I'm being stressed with IRL stuff, and yeah, I'm not gonna go too much detail, but yeah, I'm just feeling very, very stressed about life right now. So yeah, we are going to do this game today, but don't be surprised if my schedule seems to be a little messed up. I will state this, December's the only time where I'm not going to stream every Wednesday, because I got an idea of what to do during that time. And yeah, so with that, let me get the game. I had to watch the last stream to see where we ended, and I knew we ended in the mall, but I had to remember what we got, which, yeah. Jeez. Gotta open it up the game. So yeah, here we go. Game should be popping up here soon, and I'll probably get into the game, and I'll probably cut the music after getting in the game, because yeah, I will state this, some a bit exciting news. I should have a video coming out. This is before I was drained, by the way, chat, so it should come out tomorrow, and I think I'll make an announcement on that, but if not tomorrow, it'll come out on another date, and the game is up. Okay, so let's get to this. There we go. We got that, chat. Hey, guess what, chat? You lose privilege to your lo-fi music. So say goodbye to your lo-fi. But yeah. Let's get on with it. Okay, why is you on an empty void? It's my just chatting spot. Anyways, we're moving on. We're finishing up the mall. I have a feeling we are close to the end, so yeah, so here we go. We're gonna continue, and hopefully I will die of how cute this person is right here. So here we go. You moved along from one stop towards your next. Wait, huh? You move along from one stop towards your next. Still javeled from the experience. That sip. At this point, I can't deny it. Shortly, you walk into your walk. Lee ran over to a nearby trash can and tossed her smoothie cup. Derek went after her and threw his cup away. You followed suit and got rid of your empty cup too. Oh yeah, I forgot we got smoothies. ... The clock inched closer to 7 p.m. as you all made your way back to the dictionary directory. Directory? don't know that word. It was hard to believe how fast the day went by.
So,
Where do you think your mom ended up today? We didn't see her anywhere. I don't know. She's just like that. Ooh, it's a mystery. Of course, Lee. Of course it is a mystery. Oh, speak of the devil. Despite having vanquished from the entire trip so far, when 7 p.m. hit, you spotted Kyra coming right over, waving cheerfully as soon as she was close enough. She pinched Ko's cheek. Breeding go burr. Yes, breeding does go burr. Especially when you're emotionally drained.
hey, yeah.
Yay. Hey, baby and friends. Oh, hi, Mom. Ko is definitely blushing in embarrassment because he pushed her hand back with one hand and rubbed his cheek with the other. Did you have a good day, gang? Yeah. Today was awesome. We did so much.
Not bad.
It was fun. You really enjoyed your day. You saw there were ways it could have been worse. You did enjoy the outing. Honestly, I can't go wrong with a mall trip. There was no hiding your joy like the others. You were smiling ear to ear because today went so much better than you expected. So someone came into my room. I'm glad we came here.
That I do.
I want to hear all about it during the ride back. She clapped her hands together once, making sure she had everyone's undivided attention. Speaking of that, we better head out. Cliff must be missing us, and you've got to be starving. It's dinner time, and you haven't eaten yet. Dang. Yeah. Everyone followed her lead and started walking out the door into the parking lot. Something about Kara said felt off to you. There were tons of places to eat. It's a mall. You could have had dinner. You wondered oh sorry. You wondered if it was just a good guess, but you could feel your eyebrows raise when it dawned on you. She might have been keeping an eye on you after all. Oh, Dr. Ismish, you were pleased about that. She didn't have to lie. That was pretty slick. You weren't sure about that. It kind of seemed kind of sketchy. Honestly, that was slick of her. If she hadn't made that comment, you wouldn't have known. You would never have known. You found it hard to be impressed. Not once would you recall even catching a glimpse of her around. Though now that you think about it, not seeing her was suspicious in its own self. Shaking off those thoughts, you catch up with the others. Keeping the same seating arrangement as earlier, you all piled into the car and started heading back to the store. ... The drive went by without any problems as it filled with chatter about the various things everyone saw around the mall. Soon enough, you arrived at your destination. It was a much faster trip, considering this time Kara knew where she was going. Hope she did. Hearing the light jingle the bells from the front door being open, Cliff poked his head around the back. He lit up to see who was here. Hey, sport. Did everyone have an adventure? Hi, Dad. We had a blast. Yes. We found the mall. The mall. Wish I could have joined. He deflated in an exaggerated way. His shoulder slopped. Kyra pulled a hand on his arm and smiled.
Any whoosies?
There'll be other times. Are you set here? Almost. Mr. Holland sighed for real. He then pulled himself together, standing up straight.
Do you mind?
I need just a little bit more time to finish up. Will you be alright killing time for a bit longer? It's okay. Yes, sir. No problem, Mr. Holland.
Sure.
We can have fun here. Excellent. What a great group of kids. He gave an approving thumbs up, and Kara nodded along. I'll give you a hand. I remember the ropes. Why, thank you. They walked side by side to the back room before he was out of sight. Cliff stopped and looked over his shoulder. I keep missing things because I... Rip. If you leave the shop, don't go far. It's getting late. And then the parents were gone again. Let's go to the docks. They're right down the way. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I saw those on the way here. I really wanted to check it out. Are you coming, Don? All right. With a smile, Cove showed the way. Oh my gosh, this is a very nice dock. Between the warm summer air and the smell of the ocean, you couldn't ask for a better night.
thanks.
Thanks for letting me come. Me too.
Right?
Right? I'm happy we did this. Today was great. Cove, your mom and dad are really cool. Really? Totally. Cove looked at Lee oddly. He ran a hand through his hair, and then his puzzled expression cracked with a chuckle.
Yes.
I guess sometimes they are. You continue walking. Every so often, you would look up at the sky and see several stars poking out between the clouds. At one point, you noticed that Cove stopped, while Lee and Derek kept going on ahead, busily chatting. Blah, 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 blah. Intentionally, you wondered if something was wrong, but you quickly noticed that he still looked to be in good spirits. You decided to hang back with Cove. He gave you a quick, acknowledging look when you stopped at his side. You could taste the sea salt as you took a deep breath of the ocean air. Silently, you and Cove watched the ocean for a little while. There was something about the waves that you always found soothing. You couldn't think of a better way to end a busy day. Hey, Don. Oh, yes, Cove? He peeked at you out of the side. He peeked at you out of the side of his eye with a bent grin. Want a gumball? You just had to laugh. He joined in. Not much time later, Derek's chipper voice caught your attention. You and Cove both turned your gaze down the pier. What are you doing there, slowpokes? Get over here. Hey, come on. You looked at Cove, and the same time he looked at you. You grinned and nodded your head in the direction of your friends. He gave you a small smile in return. Ah! Your footsteps echo against the wooden plank of the dock and into the night as you ran to catch up. Yeah, we were kind of close, but it was just like, it was a little too far ahead. Anyways, we're moving on. to birthday, which is basically what the stream is all titled about. So here we go, birthday. It was a pleasant afternoon. The sun shone. Simp. Shut up, Lake. It was a pleasant afternoon. The sun shone brightly, and the breeze tugged lightly at the balloon strung around the park. You and Co had just been dropped off at Miranda Erkin's birthday party. Who is Miranda? Who are you, Miranda? You didn't really know Miranda. Last year was the first time you had a class with her, and everyone at school knew her as Quiet. The shy girl stuck to her own friend group like glue. Never. Anyways, it had been a surprise that she was having such a big party. Ooh. You looked around at the expensive park and spacious recreation center in the next town over and noticed a bouncy castle. Miranda had a bit of a reputation for not caring if she acted mature like the other teens. Sometimes did. And it made certain amount of sense that her party would match that. Go into the castle. I will forever call you a stop it, Lake. You thought Miranda was sweet. You thought Miranda was weird. You didn't have an opinion on Miranda yet. You wanted to get to know Miranda better. I want to get to know Miranda a bit better. And Link and Fire have seen each other now. Maybe at this party, you get a chance to make friends with her. You were excited at the thought. You hadn't had a choice in coming today. Your moms insist on it after you got the invitation, as did Cove's mom and dad. So both of you were driven over to the next town with presents in tow. All the parents have been pretty firm about going to a birthday. Miranda's the local lesbian is my theory. My gay. Me, who knows what Miranda's character sexuality is? Not sorry. When are you sorry, Fire? Okay, anyways, I'm redoing that. So both of you were driven over to the next town with presents in tow. All the parents have been pretty firm about going to a birthday if you've been invited. You agree it was the best attending. You wonder if it was an adult thing. You're happy to be here. You wish you were somewhere else. You felt out of place. You were willing to give it a chance. I'm sorry on Tuesdays. Well, that was yesterday. What the heck? I'll give it a chance. You had just arrived at the party after all. You couldn't see the future. It could turn out to be fun or it could be a disaster. You wouldn't wait to see. Anyways, Cove made a small noise which caught your attention. He looked around, scanning the area. He fidgeted with his gift in hand.
So,
any ideas we're supposed to do with these? You looked at your own present, then towards the seating area. There was a table full of snacks and drinks, supplies of various party games. Stop it! Seems like I skill issue done. Stop it, chat! I think he just said, no! Past all that, you spotted a table in the back that seems to have a truckload of gifts. You pointed out to Cove. Presents are over there. We should probably drop our stuff off our stuff. Cove nodded and smiled, and turned to where you gestured. He saw it too. Never, lol. Cool. You and Cove began walking over to the present table, flattering the well-trimmed grass beneath your feet. Oh yeah, you should. Hey, I'm not a simp every day. You walk past a group. You walk past groups of people, classmates in semicircles, broken up into the usual friend groups, chatted away. You, or maybe Cove, received the occasional greetings or friendly nod. However, as you pass by even more people, that's when you had never seen before. Even more people that you have never seen before. You became aware that there were more strangers here than not. Are you sure about that? Only on most days you're a sim. That's fair. Anyways, it was more crowded than you expect. Miranda Erikin, the quiet girl, was hosting the most popular birthday party you have ever been in a long time. You looked at the new faces and thought you saw Miranda in them. Cousins, nieces, or nephews. Maybe parties could be a big deal in her family. The both of you reached the table to set your gifts down and into an empty space, brushing some confetti alongside. And Cove placed his gift gently next to it. He looked at the present, thoughtfully. I'm gonna get going, good luck. And do your best to pronounce everything right. I will try. English doesn't seem to want to work for me. Hey, what did you get her? Before you could have a chance to answer, Cove opened his mouth again and tapped his gift. Oh, Pete. I'm assuming that's hunting, Dawn. No, you will not. I found this sparkly backpack. I figured she could use it for school or a trip or something. Skill issue. Your mom's had taken you out shopping the other day. You searched through the stores and ultimately picked a stuffed animal, grabbed the necklace and bracelet set. You found a Lighthead adventure book. You choose a yarn craft kit and choice. You let your mom's pick. Your mom's didn't appreciate what you had picked and chose something else. Honestly, nothing goes wrong with a stuffed animal. The wide eyes of the otter plush had called you. You weren't sure what in it was. Its face made you think of Miranda, but it seemed appropriate. Your moms had agreed that it was a fine present, and Ma helped you wrap it. Oh. You described it to Cove briefly, and he had no objections.
Not bad.
Not a bad idea. He brushed his hands against the side of his pants. I really hope Miranda likes her gifts, but I think we both did good. With that, he gave you a sunny grin. You touched the gift once more and then stepped away. Without the directions of needing to put stuff away, the two of you weren't sure what to do next. You felt a little awkward, and Cove stunk on himself as he looked around. There were more guests heading to the present table, So you turned away and wandered over to the nearby tree where you wouldn't be in the way. From there, you both inspected the area and planned the next step. You were glad Cove had been invited, too. At least you had his company in this unfamiliar place. You watched him and he gave you a nervous grin. It reassured you a little, and you smiled back. What's next? Cove did not appreciate being put on the spot. He was just as unsure as you were. Yeah, reading is really killing me. But there is some words and some sentences that I'm actually getting down, which I'm surprised. Birthday party stuff? It didn't seem to be time for cake. What with people still arriving, nothing else seemed to be organized yet either. He's noticed that himself and tried it again. We could find Miranda. That was an idea. It made sense to greet the birthday girl. Okay, we could say hello. Wish her a happy birthday. Ask her what she wants people to do.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. With that point, it was decided. Then, the Miranda hunt had begun. I love how we're hunting Miranda. You wandered around any time you saw someone with Miranda's hair color. You got a little closer, but more than once, it turns out to not actually be her. Hey, look! Finally, he pointed out the real Miranda. She smiled slightly when you both approached, but ducked her head. She seemed a little overwhelmed with being the center of the center of attention today. Oh my gosh, that's Miranda. Hi, Cove. Hi, Don. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I'm glad you could come.
Thanks. I'm really glad you could come. You all stood awkwardly. Miranda did seem genuinely happy. There was still a distance between you. This is a great looking party. Thank you. Is there something we need to do, or should we just hang out? Oh, well,
You can talk to people if you want. There are games that are gonna start soon.
okay, it's voice actor. I mean, as long as I can help. But yeah, okay, Miranda's voice actor. I'll probably still read it. Oh, well, you could talk to people if you want. There's games that are going to start soon. And the bounce house should open later if you feel like jumping. Then after that, it's cake and present time. We'll have ice cream too. After that, it's when people will start going home. I hope that's okay with you guys. Cove nodded. He seemed a little more confident about the situation now. Thanks for telling us. You mutually struggle to keep eye contact. She still wasn't completely comfortable in the situation, and it was hard for you too. Miranda wanted there, and you became hyper aware of the silent forming. You hear a shout for a Randy, and Miranda brightens up. A total of 180 with how stiff she had been with you.
I gotta talk to some more
I gotta talk to some people. Bye. The birthday girl ran off to her friends, leaving you and Cove with at least a little more idea of what to expect. Both of you glanced at each other, wordlessly. You felt a little disappointed. It wasn't going to be hard to get to know Miranda better, and with how in demand she was probably going to be today. Hopefully, you would get to talk with her later. All that was left now was finding something to fill time until the activities began. You tried and chat with other people around. You just talked to Cove. You found a quiet spot to sit. You just stood there. I'm just gonna talk to Cove. You started talking about how you felt about this kind of birthday party and what you wanted to do for your next party. Cove made the occasional suggestion. The conversation became silly as you started to joke about ridiculous party ideas. Cove wanted a moon party, and you wondered if anyone ever had tried to make a cake big enough to be a party location. So much pain. Oof. Suddenly, a loud voice boomed over the crowd. The constant buzz of conversation dropped as one of the adults, maybe Miranda's dad, asked the kids to gather around because it was game time. I wonder what's going to happen. You shrug, you scan the area to make a guess, you make a joke about something that wasn't going to happen. Honestly, I would joke. We're gonna play high-stake poker. It's obvious. Obvious, huh? Look at this crowd. Most of the guests were teenagers around your age, but there were also quite a few adults and some younger kids. Cove nodded staggily at the group of little kids. Yeah, these are high rollers. The adults announced that the children under 10 had the first turn on the bounce house. For everyone else, it was time to play pin the tail on the donkey. Cove raised his eyebrow. He was surprised for sure. You were excited, you thought it was kind of silly, you were a little weirded out, you were fine with the game. You didn't know how this would go. I love playing games. Pin the tail on the donkey sound fun. Maybe you could even win. You casually step to join the line. The donkey in question was a cartoony poster with big eyes that looked more like ping pong balls. It was located a few feet above ground on a tree trunk. The teen who arrived first was blindfolded and then spun around. His nudge to the sign and waved from the other kids, so he wouldn't stick someone with the tail instead. Unfortunately for him, he placed the tail on the donkey's head like some kind of bizarre earring. He wouldn't be winning that far from the target. His next opponent did fare better by landing on the donkey. He's back. The spectators clapped politely and the line moved up. More teens tried their hand at it. Some got closer than others, but no one had gotten perfect yet. Soon it was Cove's turn. He was blindfolded and spun, just like the others. At this point, it was a close match, and everyone was watching, and with bated breaths, Cove approached the donkey and stuck the tail on without any hesitation. Cove stood back and removed his blindfold, cheering when he saw how close he was. He turned his head over his shoulder and grinned at you. Oh, your turn. I take my turn. I'm not 7 out of line. Oof. With the blindfold on, the bright park became utterly dark. As you were spun around, the sound around you seemed to get louder. At least you could tell the direction of the bounce house from the shrieks of the younger children. You stopped spinning, stepped forward, tail in hand. It was time to give it a stab. Oh my gosh. Place it right in front of me, place it to the right, left, up, downward. I placed it right in front of me. ... You press the tail into the target and step back. You took your blindfold off to check your result. People cheered behind you and had indeed pinned the tail on the donkey right where the donkey prefers their tail to be. You beamed at your accomplishment and felt a surge of pride. It was perfect. You looked back at the crowd behind you and your eyes met Cove. He was impressed. You even got a small thumbs up. Oh. A few more kids took their turn. One girl managed to somehow pin the tail on the opposite side of the tree. You were pretty sure it had to be on purpose. Yeah. With the line empty, the game was finally over. The adults running things starting to inspect the donkey. At this point, the sign was more tails than donkey. However, you were undeniable winner. No one could get closer than perfect. After your name was announced, everyone cheered and clapped for you once more. You came up to the front, and the man gave you a handful of candy as the prize for the victory. Thank you. You shoved the candy into your pocket. Cove walked up to you. Congratulations on the win. You were humble about it. You felt bashful over winning. You relieved in the win. I will definitely be bashful. Once you had your candy, you unwrapped a particular chewy taffy candy and shoved it in your mouth. It was sweet and tastes like an artificial banana flavoring. It also gave you an excuse not to speak, and you just nod in response. You offered to share your candy with Cove. You got the prize for yourself. I'm gonna share with Cove. Do you want some? His sparkling eyes told you yes. You held out a lollipop, and Cove accepted carefully. It was a mystery flavor, so you had no idea if he would like it or not. Boop. Why are you booping me? He unwrapped the treat. It was a swirl of pale blue and translucent green. Cove gave it a tiny lick. What does it taste like? For victory and berries, I think. Also sweep. Again, I'm not a sim on most other days. You both laughed at that and gave him more candies. An older teen walked up, tall enough to tower over you and Cove. You felt a little intimidated by this stern-faced stranger until he started to speak. His voice was low but friendlier than her thought its frown would suggest. Hi, I'm handing out party favors. Do you want one? She showed you party hats. She's, she insists they were the key to true party mood. She had two options, either colorful headbands and two tiny party hats, with two tiny party hats arranged almost like ears, or tiara with stars on it. They were both very festive. Presents to doubt. Wow.
It's okay.
No thanks. You knew the teen hadn't actually glared at him. Her defunctional default facial expressions seemed too grim. I will take one of the headbands. Of course, the purple hats. Of course, I'm going with the purple hats. The teenager handed you the hat with a surprise amount of gusto given her expression never changed. She gave you a serious thumbs up for taking it. I'll encourage Coach to try and pick one. You held a pink headband hat in one hand and the crown on the other. You try to imagine what they would look like on Cove. You should really try it. It would be great. Not surprised. Cove looked back at the hats, then at you. He sighed. He grabbed a hold of one. The teen with the hats clapped as much as she could with all the hats in her hands. The unknowing teenager nodded approvingly at both of you and passed out the hats to more people. You put the party hat on your head with a smile, and it fit well. It was surprisingly comfortable. It really completes your look. When did you get so fashionable? Go! Ah. No, go. He smirked, and you just adjusted your new accessory. I'm a party animal now. It does look good on me. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm a party animal now. Really? Of course. I mean, I'm literally a fox boy, Cove. Cove nodded and with a thoughtful look on his face. If the party spirit is contained in the party hat, does that mean they're haunted? You snorted at the suggestion. You consider the hat on your head. It didn't seem haunted, but maybe that was what it wants you to think. Cove finally picked his own hat on. He was nervous about it, his face uncertain. I don't think about this, but I feel kind of silly. Does it look weird? Oh my gosh. Hold on, Chad. Let me die for a hot second. Give me a hot second, Chad. You'll look great, Cove. It completes perfect. It looks silly. You just giggled, you shrug, you shook your head no. It looks great, Cove. Oh, thanks. And he's blushing too. He readjusts his hat bashfully. Sim's dying. Yep, I'm gonna admit to that one. After that, the people in charge quickly set up the next game. Teenagers miled about until they were told to find partners. You tried to listen to the rules, straining your ears to listen to the adult. announcing what you're supposed to do. It was a simple game. One person in a pair would throw candy while the other had to catch it in their mouth. Oh, that is a good game. If they caught it, the pair would move on to the next round, where everyone would take a step back and the former catcher will become the thrower. The game would continue. The players getting further and further until one set of partners were the only ones left standing, or everyone lost in a round. About half the guests had already found partners. They moved fast. You know this Cove had his eyes on you. Want to be my partner, Cove? Could we be partners? Yes! Neither of you were all that familiar with anyone else here. It'd be safe. Be choice to pair up. Agree to be Cove's partner. Let's do it, partner. Cool. He beamed at you, started wondering about your respective candy catching capabilities. Two rounds of players faced each other form. Two rounds of players facing each other were formed. 2 rows, jeez, not rounds. 2 rows of players facing each other were formed. Cove tilted his head towards them, and you started to head over. He's still wearing his crown. You both lined up directly in front of each other. It took a while to pass out the candies. You were handed a small bag of gummies that smelled strongly fruity. Ooh, I love those kind of gummies. You notice Cove took it upon himself to test a red one across from you. They're not bad. What did it taste like? Raspberry or cherry? It was red, so strawberry? Maybe pomegranate? Dang. It was a mystery. Maybe you get a red one later. Okay, he may look silly, but he is my future husbando. And then it was time to begin. Cove's row was the set to throw first. He smiled nervously, his eyes widened with seriousness. You smiled back shyly, and Cove nodded. The game was on. The adult in charge shouted for the throwers to go. You and Cove were only a couple feet away from each other. With Cove careful toss, you caught the candy easily. Like you, most of the other people moved into the next round. There were a few gasps in the row as everyone who took a step back. The round was harder with pairs further apart, but not overly so. It could be done if both partners tried. You did your best as you toss it. You had fun, but it was still but still tried. Suck care. You made sure it missed. I did my best. You carefully plucked a gummy from the bag and felt the weight. You shifted to your hand a couple of times for practice, and then told Cove you were ready. You went for a underhand throw, careful to aim for Cove's mouth. The blue candy arced and landed perfectly in Cove's mouth. He chewed it twice and then smiled widely. You could tell Cove was genuinely pleased to make it through another round. You were happy as well. The next round began and you took another step back. Cove was even further away now, but he made it. But he made an okay sign. He was in it to win it. Around you, there were once packed rows of players, and thinned out some. You wondered how many rounds everyone had left in them. Cole swung his arm and made eye contact with you. You nodded, and the green candy flew towards you. You tried your best to catch it. You casually tried to catch the candy. You refused to catch it. You didn't catch it. I'm going to try. You follow the arc of the candy and open your mouth wide. It had a slight spin on it, and you tilted your head to the left to compensate. You bit down on the candy, grinning with your victorious catch. It tastes sweet and vaguely like a Slurpee. Ew! Yeah, Don! Cole was thrilled. He was entirely invested in the game at this point. You and Cove were still in the game. You knew this was the final round. Only a few pairs were still left. Cove was determined to win. You could see it in the clench of his jaw, the careful way he watched you. You were charmed by his attitude. You were equally wanting to win. You didn't want to let him down. You thought it was kind of funny. You felt nervous under the pressure. I honestly want to equally as win. You made it this far. It is time to go all the way. You looked around at your remaining competitors and compared yourself. Cove gave you a firm grin, and you prepared to throw. Your fingers grabbed an orange gummy from the bag. It felt solid in your grasp, even if your hand was starting to get sticky from touching all the sugary sweets. Cove leaned his head face towards you and bent his knees, ready to catch. The time came. You looked at the candy and then Cove. Try your best. You sure casually. You missed on purpose. Try my best. The candy flew like a missile straight towards him. He positioned himself effortlessly for it. Cove caught the candy just like that. A wide grin spread on his face as he victoriously chomped down on the candy. Yes! Along with the cheer, he jumped in excitement and pumped one arm. You look to your left, then to your right. You see a few remaining pairs walking away, compromising over their loss. With some shock, you realize that you and Cove were the only ones who made it that round. You won. You watched the moment Cove clicked into the same realization. His face brightened like sunshine, and he jogged over to close the distance between you. You step closer to meet him halfway. I'm giving Cove a hug. His eyes went big when he realized you were going for a hug. He smiled and caught you, hugging you back tightly. You won this together. He gladly stomped his feet in place in front of you, as though he couldn't contain his energy. We did it! You adjusted the hat that had nearly fallen off through the event. Nice catch. Nice throw. The game runner strolled over and merrily gave you both a bunch of more candy on top of letting you keep the gummy bags. It was quite the collection. Oh no, we're gonna have a sugar high. Cove laughed over just how much candy you both had acquired between this game and Pin the Tail on the donkey. You were swimming in sugar now. Okay, that was kind of cute. It is cute, okay? Did the candy toss... Was the candy toss over? You were going to need something else to do. You didn't have to wait long. You heard someone in the crowd shout that the bouncy house was officially open for the older kids. You and Cove shared a look. Cove smiled and you knew he wanted in. We go into the bouncy castle. You both ran over to the bouncy castle and kick your shoes off. You crawl into the inflated castle with Cove hot on your heels. There were a couple of other teams inside already. You started to feel the bouncing. Cove hopped in the middle to the side just after you landed from a particularly high jump. Someone else snuck in. It was the birthday girl herself. Hi, Miranda. Hi, birthday girl. Miranda looked happy. She waved both of her hands at you with a megawatt grin. Hope you're having fun. She humped around with her hands in front like a kangaroo. It was a surprising effort way to clear distance in the bounce house. She then jumped high, kicking both her legs out to the side and touched the tips of her toes with her fingers. Okay. See you, Link. Wow. Miranda hadn't run out of tricks yet. She jumped a couple more times, gaining height, before doing a backflip and tucking into a ball. She managed to land on her feet, but didn't stake the landing. She tumbled back and fell on her butt. Cove clapped and Miranda included her head, almost like a bow. She was back to jumping in no time. You're so good at this. She bounced close enough to the two of you to talk without shouting across the way. Cove bounced slowed down, accommodating her conversation.
My family gets these every year.
My family get these...
There's a trampoline in the backyard.
Okay, Miranda. My family gets these every year, and we even have a trampoline in the backyard. Nice. You're so lucky, Miranda. That's really cool. I want to do flips too. You're not in agreement. You clapped at her stunts. Honestly, that's really cool. Miranda giggled a bit, and then her eyes sparkled. Hey, I can launch someone if you want. If I jump in front of you, then your bounce will go higher. Okay, launch me. Sure. Miranda leaped over to you, her explanation clear on her face. Cove watched with interest. She explained more clearly how this was going to work. You got ready to bounce on her cue. 3, 2, 1. The moment she came down, you jumped high. The force of her just as she had said, helped you launch up. The air rushed past your face, and then you were coming back down. Your feet hit the bounce house hard enough to help launch Miranda up a little as well. She giggled some more, and the two of you took turns bouncing each other up. Cove clapped or offered suggestions, but it was becoming clear that he wanted a turn too. Miranda invited him to join and try to synchronize your bounces to launch Cove up super high. The first time resulted in everyone crashing down in a big pile of laughter. By the fifth attempt, Cove managed to catch some serious airtime. Woo! Y'all had y'all had a fun bouncing around. You twirled, Miranda did stunts. Cove fully tried to touch the highest tip of the castle's ceiling. You and Cove chatted to Miranda more. Hi Audley, welcome to the stream. You and Cove chatted to Miranda more than you had ever had at school. She was truly the queen of this bouncy castle. But yes, hello Audley, welcome to the stream. And for how it's going, I almost did not decide to stream. Let's just say IRL stuff is getting a lot hectic for me, so streams might be slower. If not, we might miss a couple weeks. But we'll see. Whenever someone did something cool, everyone would cheer. If you fell, the others would help you up. Oh. Eventually, more people wanted to take turns in the bouncy castle, so you and Cove left. As you slipped on your shoes, you saw Miranda getting drawn to conversation with a group of adults. She would be talking to them for a while. You and Cove decided to take a break and hydrate. Honestly, I should have brought a water bottle, but I did not. Ugh. You went to the party table and grabbed some iced water. Cove handed you a party noisemaker he picked up from the same table. He blew on his, and the funny sound when it unrolled. Cove downed his drink with a couple of gulps. He's gotten pretty into the bouncing after all. Yeah, I'm not in a very nice mood right now. It's your week. That's what I'm hoping as well. Just, yeah. But yeah, I do hope that you're also have better luck this week as well. Oh my gosh, Ko. You were still sipping on your water when Ko blew his noisemaker again, then again, and again. It was almost in tune. You didn't recognize any particular melody, but a noisemaker also isn't an instrument. The noisemaker, through the hymn of the other party guests, loud and noticeable. No problem, oddly. Like, I'm also kind of like one of those few people that it's like, I don't want anyone to really have a majorly bad day. But also, I know I need to take care of myself at times. So, yeah, that's fun. Yeah, Scope, stop. You started blowing on your noisemaker. You blew your noisemaker back at Cove. You're amused by Cove's antics. Back at Cove. Gotta do it. Also, Cove's a pretty princess. You had blew hard enough to unfurl the paper. Oh. Well, welcome back, Gling. You blew hard enough to unfurl the paper completely straight. It shuddered towards Cove, almost tapping his chin. Cove wasn't going to let that stand. He relented and retaliated and blew his back on you. It nearly touched your nose. Oh my word. It was a game now. Both of you tried to land a light hit on the other. Cove managed to get your chin while you score right in between his eyes. Ooh.
Oh, great.
Oh, great. You people again. I wonder who you are. Someone vaguely familiar shouted at you. You snapped your head to the side. Cove's noisemaker dropped from his mouth. I wonder who it is. Got me a pretty prince. Yes, you did. The voice speaker, the speaker stepped up, and was there. There was no doubt. It was Jeremy. That means, boy, you met. That mean boy you met at the start of the summer. You groaned at the sight of him. Oh, hey, it's the bowl cut, kid. You felt very uncomfortable and didn't know what to do. You instantly got angry at his presence. You tried to ignore Jeremy being here. You tried being polite. Honestly, teenage me would groan. It might have been rude, but you didn't want to deal with Jeremy right now. Or anytime, really. Hey, are you here? Fuck, I'll have to get context. Yeah, get it later. Or don't. Cove's tone was defensive. You watched Jeremy's face turn slack, as if Cove's questioned the idiocy above all the idiocy. I didn't. Didn't I already explain this? He hadn't. So both of you exchanged a look. Did you have memory loss, or are you really that stupid? Seriously. Cove, hold me back. I am going to punch this kid to outer space and back.
I didn't walk here.
I didn't walk here. My parents brought me. Apparently, I couldn't just stay inside like I wanted. Rip. That I'm getting out and enjoying the day and have fun on vacation. Blah, blah, blah. He said enjoy the day and have fun on vacation. Like some people would say, scrub the entire bathroom or listen to when they saw this stupid party and decided to bother some adults by asking what's going on. They think maybe we could be included. It's moronic. Get it now? That's how my parents are. Annoying and embarrassing. Why won't anybody want strangers at their birthday party? At their birthday? Why can't they just leave things alone? Okay. He huffed loudly, and his eyes shot daggers at some grown-ups, and presumably were his parents. Yeah, that's really awkward. That doesn't sound very bad. And all you can do is complain about. Sucks to be you. You tried to be friendly and welcome Jeremy into the park. You didn't bother. Honestly, I can probably relate saying that is awkward. Yeah, that's really awkward. You don't have a say it back to me. I know. Okay, I was being kind to you. Jeremy's eyes slipped away from you to take the rest of the park for a bit. It was a little awkward. It was possible he didn't know what to do, but then he spoke again.
So dumb.
How can people really go around those embarrassing party hats? Do you think it's fun or something? How could a human being be so dumb? Okay, yeah, no, chat. Forget the space. We're gonna send him to hell. It's just kind of nice to do party stuff. Jeremy scoffed, unimpressed. The expression on his face was nasty as he spoke. No boobing me! I'm not surprised. An empty-head person like you would think that. Yeah, no, we're sending him to hell. Jeremy looked you over, completely dismissive. Again, I can help. Thank you, Lake. It was so rude. You couldn't help but feel offended. I mean, I really do feel offended right now. Ko's face hardened. He seemed more offended than anyone actually insulting him personally. It's just because you don't know how to be happy doesn't mean no one else does. And it's not our fault if you hate everything. It's not okay for you to take it out on Don. He isn't doing anything wrong. You are. This is why I stay in Cove. Jeremy seemed unfazed by Ko's defense and sniffled. Don can humiliate himself on his own. He doesn't need to step in. He doesn't need you to step in and do it for him. Lake, do you have a spare 5 shovels? We're gonna dig him really down to hell. You pour your drink on Jeremy, you push Jeremy, you punch Jeremy in the face. You know what? This is the most respectful thing. Pour your drink. I'm pouring my drink onto Jeremy. You made sure to thoroughly soak him before he had time to react. He yelled back and snapped at you. Good, because this kid is going straight down hell. My word.
Are you crazy?
Are you drinking from that? Ugh, are you crazy? Gross. You're oh no. You're ruining someone's birthday. I'm going to find your parents and tell them what's going on. Don't say things like that ever again. You'll have his reaction. Don't ask how I got him. That's fair. But I'm going first response. You're a dick. People were starting to watch what was going on. Your argument wasn't exactly quiet at this point. Why don't you just leave us alone if we're so awful? Jeremy glared even more and huffed.
Dumbasses.
Talking to you is pointless, dumbasses. Yeah. He stalked off like the last time you saw him, muttering under his breath. Starts digging. Don't worry, I got this. Thank you, Link. You better find that kid, though. Cove sighed in relief after Jeremy was gone. He relaxed, but only for a moment. He noticed how much attention you'd drawn from the other guests. Luckily, it hadn't gone on long enough to get a real crowd. A concerned adult with a blue button-up shirt, approached you and asked who was that and if everyone was all right.
It's okay.
I'm fine. Ko looked at you cautiously, asking just as much as the adult if you were okay. Yeah, I'm fine too. Thank you. The concerned adult lingered for a few seconds, but nodded and left you alone. The Jeremy fiasco was officially over. Ko rubbed his eyes, clearly ready to put all that nonsense behind him. Then he starts laughing. Won't take long. Oh, jeez. It was a surprise laugh, breaking out of his chest without any actual joy. It was a nervous but disbelieving, and all the complex emotion brought about by one meeting with Jeremy. I can't believe it. He spoke in fists and starts. You poured your drink on him. The look on his face. You swore at him. You shrug. He deserves it. You felt a little bad for it. You're still mad at what happened. You think it was too much? He deserved it. He really deserved it. He can't just say things and get away with it. Cove nodded to himself and continues speaking. I hit it. You hit it? You hit hell finally? I mean, I wouldn't want someone to do it. I wouldn't want someone to do it to me, but it's not like I can blame you. He was treating us badly for no reason. Exactly. I'm pretty sure he'd be okay. I bet it won't even change anything for him. Cove paused and shyly twisted his fingers together. Then a quieter voice, he spoke. And if you're bad for doing it, I'm bad too, because I kind of like watching you do it, Todd. Ah. Let me dive real quick, chat. He became bashful, barely able to meet your eyes. He smiled shyly. But only because he deserved it. I wouldn't want that to happen to someone out of nowhere or anything. I'm going to talk to the devil real quick and tell him what's going on. Okay, League, you have fun with that deal. You felt flattered. You laughed happily over Cove's. You agreed it was really satisfying. You also felt bashful. You weren't sure how to feel about any of this. I feel flattered. Do you want to tell your moms about Jeremy? I mean, are you going to say what you did back at him? They'd probably be nice about it. And maybe they know how to handle someone like him? Clove bit his lip in thoughtful. I'm not going to tell them anything if you don't. Thanks for asking. You decided to bring it up to your mom's later. You decided to keep it between you and Cove. I'll tell him. I'll let him know everything.
All right.
Okay. You thought back to your retaliation and winced internally. You were probably going to get in trouble. But not bad trouble, as long as your moms knew you've been picked on first, but some trouble. Honestly, I'll apologize. Sorry, Cove, it's my fault you're wearing that hat in the first place. Okay, I'm going to find that kid now. You have fun. I don't know where Jeremy is. I'll keep my eye out for him. Cove shook his head. If anything, he seemed surprised at your apology.
Don't worry about it.
I don't mind. That's you did. It'd be fun. This whole day has been fun, except for Jeremy, and he's gone now. You reached up and flicked his hat with pride, giving you a small grin. It made you happy. Finally, you bent over and picked up the noisemaker that Cove dropped when Jeremy appeared. It might be dirty too, used now, but you didn't want to leave it there. He accepted it softly. Then you offered the little favor back to him. Don't worry, I'll find him. Okay. Thanks, Don. I like how we can be there for each other. It makes me feel better about that kind of stuff when it happens. Yeah. Cove suggests that you should find a seat at one of the tables. It was almost cake time, and he wanted to appear be prepared. It was a good reminder that the party wasn't over yet. I guess I think we should see somewhere free there, if that works for you. You and Cove tried to settle down after the last event. You took seats across from another at one of the park tables. There was a little attempt to chat, but most part you simply watched the adults running around setting up the cake cutting. There was a mere picnic when who you assumed was Miranda's dad, apparently forgot the lighter for the candles. He and another man went through and started asking other adults for matches or lighters. They weren't having any luck until the grim-faced teenager who has been passing out party hats pulled a green lighter out from the ice cream cooler. Why the lighter was put in the cooler remains a mystery, but with the party hat girl finds it was time to get things going again. Miranda sat at the head of the table of the longest table. A large chocolate cake was sat in front of her. She lit all 14 candles with the cooler lighter with a big smile. The adults started singing happy birthday, and the rest of the guests joined in. At the end of the song, Miranda blew out the candles and the huff. She closed her eyes and you saw her slight mouth something. Maybe it was a birthday wish. Miranda cut her own slice onto. Then the grown-ups took over cutting the cake. Another adult passed around plates of cake slices with a glop of vanilla ice cream to the guests. Eventually the cake got around to you and Cove. Yay! Cove was pleased with the treat in general. The cake looked rich and moist. It smelled quite chocolatey. You only eat the ice. Wanted to eat the ice cream. Wanted to eat the cake. I want to eat both. I'll eat both. You took a bite of ice cream. The vanilla wasn't bad, but it was a little bland. The chocolate cake, however, was rich flavor. Cove then took his fork and stabbed into the mashing up some of his cake. The cake resembled a pile of crumbly chunks. He started mixing it into the ice cream, the melted parts of the ice cream, to make it kind of a chocolate cake soup. Okay. You raised your eyebrows. You told him you would do the same thing. Honestly, I would raise my eyebrow. You were puzzled at what he was doing. Cole paid no mind. Vanilla ice cream is not good by itself. I'm going to eat it with the cake either way. So why not put them together now? Things like ice cream cakes exist. Putting stuff together is normal. Cove consistently chowed down on his concoction. One average to his mix is the ice cream seemed to catch moist and crumble of the crumbs that would usually fall from eating a cake. Unlike some of the kids around him, Cove's shirt remained clean. You started eating your dessert in earnest. You enjoy yourself plenty. Cove suddenly put his fork down in the plate and stared into the sky with a faraway expression. You checked, but didn't see anything attention grabbing. This ice cream is better than those ones in cup. You know, with the little wooden spoon. But I still kind of want that instead. Oh, you remember what kind he was talking about? Oh yeah, like the ones handed out at the barbecue before the fireworks happen. Right. Ko smiled nostalgically at the thought. You could picture young Ko for a moment with the same look in his eyes. You offered a bite of your dessert. Offer him. You want any of mine? Cove raised his eyebrow for half a second before realizing came. Laughter burst out at him. Yeah, I remember that part too. Not long. You shared laughter. It attracted the attention from some of the other party guests. It took a moment to compose yourself and get back to your desserts. Miranda then started opening her gifts. She attacked the mountain of presents like a pro. She checked for any cards and read them aloud before opening any gift. Honestly, reading the cards out first, unless the card's attached to the present, makes the most sense. Anyways, she smiled at every present, including the ones you and Cove got her. You were glad the presents were accepted. It took time, but eventually Miranda got through all the gifts. She was very sweet and polite through it all. The party went until the sun began to set. By that point, most everything had settled down. The party and people have begun to leave. Any of the guests whose parents had stayed for the party already gone, except Miranda's family. Only a few kids waited for their parents to come get them. Reminded you and Cove. Waiting on parents to come get them remain. You and Cove included. Miranda's family were cleaning up, and as a guest, neither you nor Cove were supposed to help with that. Instead, you both had decided to take it easy in the bounce castle. It was somewhere out of the way where you could casually wait for your rides. Miranda had also elected to hang out with you. You weren't even bouncing anymore. Cove laid on his side with his back to the wall. Miranda sat across from him with her legs stretched out. You also made yourself comfortable. It was nice and warm in the little building. It also felt like you had some privacy, which was nice. You could all speak openly here. Thanks for coming. She looked down, but continued shyly. It's been really cool to get to hang out with you a little bit. You found him? Oh, where was he? Thanks for letting me come. I didn't think I'd be invited. Thanks from me too, Miranda. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. Happy I could come. You shrug. You choose not to respond. Honestly, wasn't expected to come. Miranda just smiled a little more. So, do you notice anything happened earlier with some people you don't know showing up? She had to think about the question a little. It was apparent that she didn't had encountered with Jeremy since there was no instant recognition. In the park? Where in the park? I heard about something. Some other parents were talking to my parents that their kid came and forced them to leave the park. She tilted her head to the side, finding it weird, but also not important. Then everyone had cake and ice cream. Co smiled uncomfortably. That's good. He was clearly worried that Jeremy's confusion could have gone into her. Luckily, it didn't seem that anyone had overheard or passed along Jeremy's cruel words. Cove rolled over on his back, then sighed continuously. Miranda seems confused, but wasn't going to push. Oh, now he's in hell. Throw. He's in hell, throw. He will have to come back for another through, though. He will have to come back for story reasons. Oh, yeah. You got up and started bouncing again. You lay back to rest your eyes. Change the subject. I'm gonna relax. The air filled the floor was comfy. And you just listen, you could feel the vibration of the blower keeping this bounce house up. And I had a key, randomly in the park. Oh, the silent stretch between everyone, and you open your eyes to take a peek at the others. Cove was still relaxing, but Miranda was looking between you two, confused. You smile to yourself and close your eyes once more. You spent the rest of the time content and dozing until it was time to go home. At the end of the day, you thought it had been quite the party. Yay, we got that one done. We might have time for one more, which is just to start the summer work. Let's start it, chat. You started down the window, watching the scenery pass by as your mom drove down the quiet street at a luxurious pace. A singer crooned sweetly from the radio, turned low enough that you couldn't block out if you wanted. You turned away from the window when your mom suddenly spoke up. Well, kids, aren't you excited to go to the library? Why are you dotting me, Link? Yeah, I can't wait to get there. Nope, I guess. I'm definitely an I guess. I don't like to read at this point. You don't sound so sure there, Don. Mom wasn't wrong. It was what it was. But your real interest lay somewhere else. Weirdo. Okay. You haven't been there. There hadn't ever been a time you were super excited to go to the library.
So,
What about you, Cove? You're a part of the conversation too.
Not really.
Not really. If didn't have school stuff to do, I'd probably be somewhere else.
I see.
I get it. I wasn't so keen on the library in my day either. Really? Well, no, unless you counted 6 years old as my day. She grinned over at the two of you briefly. Mom refocused on driving, humming along to the radio under her breath. You went back to staring outside. As you passed one street, you caught a glimpse of someone in brightly colored clothing passing out balloon animals. It sparked a faraway memory, and you felt your lips twitching up before consciously remembering why. expose. I didn't even get a chance to. Rip. Anyways, it seemed like ages ago. Now, you and Co watching the amazing Alexander put on a show. For a second, the urge to reminisce made words line up on the back of your tongue, but you pushed them down after a second, content with a smile. What? You startled to see Ko looking directly at you. I'll tell him. You remember the amazing Alexander? He gave us dolphin balloons.
Oh.
All right, that was a while ago. Yes, man. Yep. Ko finally smiled faintly. It was the first time we've ever went down to the street together, I think. Hello, Horsey. Welcome to the stream. I saw you message earlier before the stream even started. I miss my balloon. He was a good dolphin for that one afternoon I had him. Yeah. Hey, Ko, what were you gonna name your balloon? You never told me. Hello, fellow weirdo. Oh, I don't know. Can't remember what a kid me think. Probably something obvious like flippers. Yee! You couldn't help the way your own smile curled up higher than statement. You wanted to say something else, but couldn't quite think of what. And you just settled back in your seat. When silence filled the car again, you remember your attention to the window. It was obviously a gorgeous day. You lean to face the sunshine, attempt to close your eyes as the gentle rays warm your cheeks. Dot, dot, dot. Dawn. Huh? You lift yourself up a bit more, seeing your mom twisting her torso to face you. Confused from the front seat of the car. Next to you was nothing. Cove's car door was already open. You had reached the destination before you even realized it. I was asking, what time should I pick you two up? Oh, 4 should be okay. That should give you enough time to finish your summer assignments, or at least make a large enough dent. Yeah, we got schoolwork in summer. Thanks, Mom. You hopped out of the car, remembering to grab your backpack at the last second. All right then. Have fun, you two. Yeah, fun. You weren't going to the library to have fun. Clearly. You needed to make sure you understood the materials forward and backwards, or else your grades might not be what you need them to be. The two of you went right to the door of the library. Toph reached it first and tugged it open, stepping inside. He kept it propped open so you could pass through behind him. Yay. The library, oh my gosh, I haven't been here since 8 years old. The air was much colder inside the building, but it had been a few seconds you spent outdoors. The space was filled with soft din of papers being moved and whisper voices. Yes, we're going to the library for fun. Yep, fun. Hey, you seem kind of distracted on the ride here. Just enjoying the day. I'm excited to see Derek. Just wanted to walk around. Honestly, just enjoying the day is what my Cove looked dubious at the vague answer. Okay. What? Don't you think it's nice out?
I don't know.
It's pretty much always nice out here. I mean, yeah, that is true. When has it ever rained in our timeline? You studied. Your study buddy was standing at the front of the library by a long rack of magazines. Predictably, he was flipping through one of the various sports players on the cover, looking intense enough to burst off the page. He snapped his head up when you walked over, beaming wildly. See, buddy. Dances. Hi, Don. Hi, Cove. Hi. Were you waiting for a while? Not super long. Derek put the magazine back in its place, then gestured to the space at his side. Most of the tables were empty, only a few people leafing through books. There's plenty of room. It was in an unspoken agreement. The three of you started moving towards the seating area. Derek taking 2 steps for every one of Cove's. Oh, guess what? I'm pretty sure I've mastered the fake shot. I'll show you sometime. I'll show you some other time. Derek looked over to grudge the level of interest. You know you want it. Soccer's not really for me. No, Sea Bunny. All the sporty stuff Cove liked was beach related. Surfing, snorkeling, bodyboarding. He didn't play a lot of team games, but he did like double volleyball. Call back to Grown Ups episode. How does it go? Derek's eyes flashed with excitement as he explained. But Sea Bunny, no, sorry.
Okay.
Can't distract me while I'm trying to read. Well, you move the ball like you're going one way, then he demonstrated by running a few steps ahead, showing off some fancy footwork. You do it like this, so it does it like that. You laugh off in your head at the attempts to get the trick across with no ball. Shh! The three of you looked over the checkout desk. The librarian stood behind it and was wearing a deep frown. Yes, but I can't be distracted. You felt bad, you're apologetic, you didn't think it was a big deal. Apologetic. You mouse sorry. Okay, you gotta take the Sea Bunny off, or I will eat it off me. You mouse sorry, and she sighed before turning back to the book she was reading. Derek scratched his cheek, choosing not to let that derail things. So, what are you guys working on? Then take it off of me, or I will eat it. What were you working? There was. Honestly, this isn't me. Okay, I'm throwing them. Yeet! You decide a few assignments to work on, but you hadn't sat down and decided to focus this afternoon or anything. You just grabbed all of them and chucked them into your backpack. You figured out you would pick when the time came. I think I'll worry about my work on my history. I got some math problems that need work. I don't care. I don't know. Honestly, surprisingly, I have an army. I will eat every single one of them. Oh my gosh, my mouse stopped going down there. The atmosphere was good for studying, and you felt motivated to tackle them. There's some summer reading too. I have to go through an exciting book, but I'm going to do that later since it doesn't need extra reference or anything. And I'm gonna eat them all. Yeet! I've already finished the reading. Oh. It's not that long, and it was way more interesting than last year's book. Good to know. There's over 100 people, and I eat every single one of them. What about you two? I've got a few worksheets. They look pretty easy, but my school gives us 3 books to read. Can't they stick me with just one? I'm doing a timeline for history. You found a table closest to the tallest bookshelves and set up camp. With seconds, pencils, and folders and books, you are strewn out of the surface. And you doodle. You just looked out the window again. Generally, I would most likely start doodling, but I'll focus on work. I have 2 people that will call me out if I don't work. Oh. You check the requirements on the homework sheet your teacher had given you. Then open up your textbook. The pages you needed. After some time, Ko shifted in his seat, twisting his back as if trying to work out knots out of it. You rolled your pencil back and forth between your fingers, making patterns blur into a haze color. The tough of acknowledging that you've been watching Cove made your heart flutter. He stood up. I'm going to stretch my legs.
Talk to you later.
See you. I'm going to stay here. I'm making good progress. I'll come with you. You might as well take the opportunity to refresh yourself before getting back to work. Yeah, that's true. The 2 of you strolled away from where you've been working. Your eyes roamed over the tiles of books as you passed by. Some were dull, some interesting, and some others were just strange, but you didn't spot anything that made you pause and pick it up. Looking for something? The reading assignment's more than enough. Always. No, but something might catch my eye. The reading assignment's more than I think. It's just kind of fun to look at all the titles. I might go out of here if there's enough time. His comment reminded you of the clock ticking away. Even after you finished your work for the summer, the countdown of the new school year would still be on track. Before you know it, we'll be back in at class. Yeah, we'll just got out of it. It's almost here again. Are you looking forward to going back? Phil rubbed his arm, drawing your attention to the scar. He earned as a reckless kid. With his far-off gaze, No, not really. I don't want summer to end. But I like learning stuff, but the way school does it, I want to grow up already. But final famous last words right there. Cove didn't feel safe knowing if it was what others who really determined his life was like. You stood that much. You touched him softly. He smiled supportively. You shrugged casually. Touch him softly. He's blushing. Instinctively, you reached out to him. Your thumb stroked the back of his hand in a way you hoped was comfortabling. But there's a chance we could end up in the same class. That would be nice. You nodded, glad that he was cheered up some. Trust Cove to look on the bright side. I hope we are. A smile spread across his face, crinkling his eyes. What about you? Do you want to go back to school already? Yeah, I'm ready for school to start. No, I don't want summer to end. I like summer, but I'm ready to go back. When I got to, I don't know. No, it made you stressed. Just thinking about it. Even thinking about it now, jeez. Cove nodded, obviously getting where you were coming from. There was really no getting away from the topic of school right now. It prompted you to think back to the classes you were in. You pursed your lips. This recounts what you're looking for. English, art class kept your attention. Honestly, I want to enroll into an art class. It wasn't mandatory at your school, but you definitely hope to participate. And that's all because, yeah, every other subject is boring AF. Each loss of your own thoughts, you continue to stroll through the library a little while longer until Cove caught your attention again. We should probably head back. Alright. Before you could take a step back, Cove cleared his throat, avoiding your gaze. Thanks for listening before. Anytime. Quite literally, it's like I am down to be. Cove smiled, his cheeks pink. He's blushing again. You jerk your head towards where Derek had been last studying. Time to get back to work. Cove and you rejoined with Derek and settled back in as quietly as you could manage. Work continued as normal from there. Dun dun dun. The sound of shuffling dragged you out of your head. You looked up, surprised to see Derek was packing up. You're done? Derek casually shrugged, but you could tell he felt proud to be the first to finish. Uh-huh. Told you it wasn't anything hard. Wish mine that was that easy. What was even the worth coming to the library for that? What are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now? You wondered how Derek was gonna spend his newfound freedom.
Maybe.
I could look over what you're doing. I've got some tips that will help. That'll be great, thanks.
Gotcha.
I got you. With a smile, Derek leaned over to your part of the table. He took some time to get his grasp point in you in the right direction before turning back over to you. Derek leaned back on the back of his seat. Okay, I'm going to look around while you guys finish. See you. Bye.
Bye.
See you. Dot, dot, dot. Later on, Cove shifted in his seat, closing the book as he looked over the notes he's been taking. Glancing away, you completed what you had done thus far, too. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I will probably state this just so you were relieved to have it done. Now that you just had to hope it was good enough. Derek's advances made it easier at the end. Are you ready? Are you about ready? It's almost 4. Yeah, I think so. Come on. The both of you gathered up your books, and after returning the ones you use for reference to their proper shelves, set off to find wherever Derek had wandered off to. He was in the biographic section. His bag was to the two for you. One hand above his head and the other supporting I clicked the wrong button. Supporting him against the shelf as he strained to grab the books. Hey Derek, what's up?
Hey.
Okay. He gestured the sound of your voice towards the shelf he was trying to reach. I can get that for you. Yeah, thanks, Don. Derek directed you towards the book he wanted. It was an autobiography by someone you've never heard before. Dot, dot, dot. Then the three of you moved to the front of the library, waiting for your rides. You stood close to the window and let out a content sigh, feeling the rays warm from the slightly chilly library interior. I wish our excitement stare off into space. Got any plans after this? I'm gonna work on my technique. Can't get rusty while school's out. That answer was inventable. Technique for what? Soccer. How about you two? The words you two echoed in your mind. You knew Derek meant by what was it bringing a smile to your face. Be linked with Cove, even in the most tense circumstances. Nothing planned. Me neither. Oh, that's my dad's car. Derek lifted a hand to wave, pushing the door open, and headed towards the blue pickup truck waiting in the parking lot.
Talk to you later.
See ya, Don. Bye, Cove. You watched Derek jog off before scanning the area for your mom. Did you get everything done? Yeah. I only got some thicker paper to draw on the final draft on. I saw you're done. He smiled impressively. You felt pretty good about that. I felt like I'll need to come back to the library again before summer's over. Even if your assignment work was done, you might have to double check something or prepare for the start of the year. I'll come with you. I still have some stuff to do. You were still a little surprised when he said that, mostly because you already been picturing Cove there. Thanks. So, wanna keep hanging out when we get back? We could do something actually together that's not just next to each other at the same table. He looked at you with a weary smile. You gave a tiny nod, feeling silently nervous. Thanks. The two of you smiled at each other. Cove looked away after a second, and so you did too, fidgeting with the hem of your shirt. It wasn't long before you spied your mom's car coming down the road. There she is.
Alright.
Time to go then. You climbed into the car. You're sliding into your usual seat, buckling the belts. Hey kiddos, did you get a lot done? I'm done.
Nice.
Amazing. The car shifted into action, and you watched as the library sunk into the distance. It wouldn't be the last time you saw it this summer, but at least you knew you were going to have company. Mom teased some more information about the day of you for you. She learned that you two were planning to return. She immediately offered giving you a ride next time. You continued to answer his mom questions about what you've been working on, then told her about your plans to stick with Cove after getting back. There was something knowing in her smile that made you pause just for a moment. But soon enough, the trip was over. You arrived back to your neighborhood. Cove had run over to his house real quick and drop his stuff. You also made a pit stop to put your backpack away before heading out again. The two of you regrouped in the middle of the road, halfway between your houses. With everything wrapped up, you could now freely enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Your conversations resume as both of you begin to walk down the street together. ... The afternoon came and went. Dinner was eaten, and you cleaned up the dishes left behind from it. Cove had elected to stay for the meal today. He passed you a couple plates to rinse in the sink, even though he didn't have to. Cove asked to do at least something to help. You scrubbed the last of them and let out a satisfying sigh. Okay, they're done. I'm going upstairs now. You addressed your guests for the evening. Do you want to stay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have to go back till later. Take it easy, kids. Thank you for your help. When you both got back to your rooms, you noticed your backpack from earlier. You figured it would be best to unpack the stuff you need before going to bed. Cove plopped onto your desk chair and spun around as he got comfortable. He watched you continuously as you walked across the room. He didn't need or expect you to try to entertain him constantly. It was just nice to be near each other, even when nothing was going on. You hefted your bag onto your bed. It sunk in the comforter. With that, you started to start books and papers and paper packets. Not all of it were things you needed anytime soon. A small pile of the most important assignments began to grow at the side of your backpack until you've gone over it all. You've actually finished up flipping through the contents, but that wasn't all for your work. You insistently pulled the opening closer to you and appeared inside. A second look through commanded, and then the third, and then you began to open the smaller pockets. You were missing your math assignment, Dawn. By this point, Cove could something was wrong. You had spent the better half of the day completely finishing it, and now it was gone. It had to been noteworthy before, but the bag wasn't really zipped. When you had first brought it to look through, the work could have fallen somewhere. if you hadn't, if you had it in the first place. Oh boy, I start to panic. Anxiety. The assignment could have been anywhere. You were never going to get it back. It was gone, and you know you and now you're going to have to replace everything you did for it. My math work isn't in my backpack. At your word, Cove jumped out of the seat. Oh crap! Is there somewhere we could look? The bag was kind of open, so he winced sympathetically. That left a lot of options for where it might be. Most of them bad. You make a sudden bolt for the other side of your room. You started to sort the spot the backpack has originally left in. There was nothing in sight. You expected to search the rest of the space. Cove did his best to stay out of the way while keeping an eye open for your missing work. It was a frantic and ultimately fruitless effort. Your assignment wasn't here. Let's check downstairs. It might still be in your house someplace. Fine.
How are you?
Hello again. Is everything alright? Told Mom, let's go to... I unpacked my bag, and one of my assignments wasn't there.
I'm so sorry.
Sweetie, I'm so sorry. What's missing? An assignment for school from the library today. Mom's eyebrows raised with concern at the answer. That's a pickle. I'll call right now. I think they might still be open. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Just leave it to me. Co, honey, can you tell us if there was anything you noticed you were still on, right? I saw the assignment when Don had it out of the library. I don't remember him pulling it away, but I'm pretty positive there was nothing left on the table when we were done. He spoke rationally before he had considered that something might have been left behind. You had felt the same when leaving, though it was hard to not second guess things now. Your mom re-entered the scene a few minutes later. The look on her face was not promising.
Well,
So I got a hold of the librarians. They don't have any paper with your name on it. Not that they could see, anyways. I'm sorry. Thanks for trying. Of course, sweetie. Sorry it was a bus. It's not your fault. Dawn, hey, let's go over to my house. I can check my bag. Maybe I took it when we were packing and didn't notice. Good idea. You got the impression that this wasn't just about another place to look. You were stressed over the situation here. He was just trying to give you an out. Let's go. Gove nodded and made his way to the front door. Your mom stood by with creased brows. Take care, kids. Good luck. Bye, moms. You briskly made the trip across the street. In less than a minute, you were going through the threshold of Cove's house. Cove had been in a rush earlier today, too. His backpack was tossed in on the couch. With no thoughts, no one had moved it ever since then. You can sit down or anything. I'm gonna look. He lifted up the backpack and unzipped it. It was a fluent motion. You were left to wait as he rooted around inside with an unexpected level of seriousness. There was no way you could relax right now. Yeah, I would be stressing. You lean closer, trying to get a peek into what he was seeing. Every second of not knowing made you more intense. Your impatience didn't go unnoticed. He tore through the content rapidly until Cove's eyes drifted from the opening of the bag and traced the length of the floor of the room. His arm still tucked inside, but search was over. Your heart sank. It was obvious that there wasn't much of a chance. Cove somehow had it the whole time. Still, you wanted to hope. Finally, Cove lowered his backpack on the floor while slipping his arm out and finally empty-handed. Cove exchanged a few papers your way.
Alright.
Here. Your eyes flickered down the assignment and then went right back up to his face. That's your copy. In the almost silent room, you could hear slight cricket chirping as his fingers gripped tighter. His expression was just as firm. No, it's yours. Thank you, Cove. I can't take that from you. I appreciate you want to help, but that's not okay. That's cheating. Are you sure? Stare. Honestly, I have to be brutally honest, chat. I have to appreciate it, but that's not okay. Why not? You did the work. It isn't fair that you might not get credit for it. The assignment and grades, they're important to you, and you know you're important to me too. So, he flatly dropped the paper at your feet, refusing to meet your eyes. I think I did pretty good with it. The mark shouldn't be bad. Cove, I'll hug you. Without another thought, you threw your arms around his shoulder. The paper scrunched. After a second of a stunned motionless, Cove returned the gesture and wrapped himself around you. Honestly, I would feel terrible about this. You didn't want to make such a dumb mistake and lose your work. You didn't want Cove to think he had something like that. It's just awful. But as though he could read your mind, Cove spoke softly to you. Please don't feel mad, Dawn. This is why you're best boy. He didn't let you go as he began to speak again. Missing an assignment is something that doesn't bother me. I mean, you know me long enough to see what does upset me. I mean, fair. The statement, and it started out lighthearted, but quickly shifted into one much more serious. You're always there. He leaned his head into you affectionately. It made your heart pound against your cheek. The moment was interrupted by a piercing ring of the home phone. Your wordless statement, on another word, with a raised brow, Cove's mouth formed a tiny frown. Kara appeared from the hall on the far side of the living room, summoned by the noise. Cove robotically took his arms off you, pinning them again securely against his side. Instead, you don't know if she noticed or cared, but he was embarrassed. Hey, Cove. Hi, Dawn. I didn't know you were here. She strolled on past. Your eyes followed her. Cove's mom answered the call, giving a chipper greeting to whoever was on the other end. Welcome back. I don't know why you decided to plop right beside me. A few And later, Kara thanked the person and placed the phone down once more. Don, that was your ma. She said your stuff was in the car.
What?
Really? That's what I was told. Now, I'll just return to the guest room so you can have your privacy. Damn, Kara! Kara knows more than we let on. Because I can. Ow. Ko's face cycled from shock to sour as his mom made her escape, laughing. He stood, shook the interruption off, and refocused on you. They got it. You were so relieved, you were so embarrassed, you couldn't believe it, you didn't know how to react. I couldn't believe it. You had to reassign yourself to lose, and suddenly it was back. Were they serious? They got it? Cove smiled crookedly and shrugged on one shoulder. We should probably head to your house. Your moms might want to talk to you. Yeah, my parents really care about me. Damn, Kara, she knows. Yep, literally, we could put the she knows audio in that moment. They had kept searching even after you left, and because of all of that, it all worked out. Cove nodded in agreement. Cove, I'm happy you were here. Thank you. He brightened up with a sparkle eyes.
Don't worry about
Anytime, Don. While stepping in through the door together, there was a thought in your head that you knew to be true. You were going to be there for one another when it came to the big things and with a small thing. Okay, so I won't be attempting to do another one chat. So yeah, we will not continue doing this game. So I'm gonna call it here. We're gonna end a lot earlier than normal, because I think we could do the last two in the next time I stream this game, which could be January. Ugh. We'll see. Maybe December I might do a surprise stream on this game, or we might do a stream before then, but who knows. But yeah, no. We're gonna stop here for now. And we'll be getting another hour live stream hopefully soon. I'm praying for something as soon as possible. So with that, chat, I will see you in the next stream. And hopefully it will be next week. If not, expect maybe a weekend, because I think I might be able to calm down by then. But other than that, I will try and keep myself from losing it, and I will see you all next stream. Bye!